We have to do this fast if it's going to matter, because if we don't, we'll go past tipping points from which there's no return. Uh, God gave us a remarkable planet, but it comes with certain features that, if you wreck them, change everything. So, for instance, if we finish the job of melting the Arctic, nobody has a plan for freezing it back up again. The scientists have told us that we have until 2030 to cut emissions in half if we're to have any chance of meeting those temperature targets we so boldly proclaimed in Paris in 2015 at the climate talks. 2030, by my watch, is 5 years and 9 months away. Not a lot of time. It's on the bleeding edge of the technically possible, but it would be an enormous challenge even if everyone was working in good faith. Which brings us to point 4, not everyone is working in good faith. Rashenda, you'll have to stop me if you think I'm being unkind here, but I'm just going to be real for a minute. The fossil fuel industry, we now know from great investigative reporting, has spent the last 30 years systematically building this architecture of deceit and denial and disinformation around climate. It turns out they knew everything that was to know about climate back in the 1980s when I was writing that book. Their scientists were hard at work. Exxon was the biggest company in the world. It had great scientists. Their product was carbon. Of course, they were going to find out what was going on, and they did. Their scientists predicted to their executives with great accuracy what the temperature would be in 2020. And they were believed. Exxon executives started, for instance, building all their drilling rigs higher in order to compensate for the rise in sea level they knew was coming. But what they didn't do was tell any of the rest of us. Instead, they went around insisting that they hired many of the people who used to work for the tobacco industry. And my guess is, by the way, that one of those exclusions for investment in the UMC is around tobacco products. Hired those people and had them make the same argument they've been making about cigarettes. The science is unclear, we don't know, on and on and on. It's no longer possible to deny climate change, really, because there have been too many floods and too many fires. So the new face of climate denial is climate delay. And this is what you hear most powerfully from the heart of the fossil fuel industry.